Hello guys, and welcome to the BP Gaming Network. We are playing Out of the Park Baseball 19 featuring our Oakland Athletics franchise 2018 season. We are into week number 5 in April of this season, and today on this video we're going to play out a game against the Texas Rangers. So we've already played a game so far, or a couple games this week, and we're going to show you or videotape this game so you guys can check out a matchup between the A's and the Rangers. So let's get straight to it. So first, the pitching matchup is going to be between Bartolo Colon for the Rangers and Andrew Triggs for Oakland. This is the lineup matchup, if you will, and you know how the system rates the strength of the lineup as compared to the opposing team. You could see Texas have a advantage, I would say, in the 1, 2, 3 positions, and then we seem to have an advantage in the 4th and 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th positions in our lineup. So again, it's just something that kind of highlights, it just gives you a viewpoint on how your lineup is matched up against the other team. Obviously they have a few well-known decent players in MLB in the top of their lineup. Delino DeShields, his speed and athleticism obviously gives him that edge. Elvis Andrus at second spot for Texas. I mean, he's a well-known veteran. And then you've got the ever so popular Adrian Beltre for the Rangers, and then the powerful Joey Gallo in the DH at that number 4 spot. But I think Chris Davis gets the edge there for Oakland, so that's kind of nice to see. Since we're already almost a month into the season, we can now start to look at the team stats for comparisons, because now we have quite a few games already played into the season, and we can kind of see where each team ranks according to their stats in their league. So for the record, Texas have a 17-7 record in the American League. And Oakland has a 9-14 record, so Oakland is losing that battle there. They're 5th place in the American League West Division, while the Rangers are 1st place in the American League West. So this is a divisional matchup, so it's an interesting game. We're playing against the number 1 team in our division, so if we beat them, I think it is a lot sweeter, just because we want to gain as much ground against Texas because they're the number 1 team in our division. So you know, so we can climb up the ranks in our division. But again, that also does depend on how the other teams in our division play out. But we're last place right now. You could see at home we're not playing very well. We've got a 4-10 win-loss record. And on the road, we've got a 5-4 record. So we're a little bit better when we're playing on the road. Where else you could see the Rangers, they're a lot better when they're playing at home. They're 10-4, and they're also good when they're playing on the road. They're 7-3. So really, doesn't matter for them. And then let's take a look at the batting average. Oakland 223, which puts us in the 15th place in the American League. That's our entire team's batting average. Whereas Texas, they've got a 257 batting average, which puts them in 9th place in the American League. Pitching wise, the earned run average for our entire pitching staff is 4.75, which is good for 9th spot in the American League. Whereas Texas, they have an ERA of 3.56, which is good for 2nd place. So you could see they do beat us in most of the statistical categories, and that explains why they're the number 1 team in our division. So anyway, with that said, I will quickly take you guys and just show you our lineup, how we're lining up today. We made a few tweaks on our starting lineup, and we'll go through that. So Dustin Fowler will be the leadoff. Again, we're facing Bartolo Colon, who's a right-handed pitcher, so we want to stack up the game with as many lefties as we can. So we've got Dustin Fowler in leadoff. Dustin Fowler has been playing really well so far, so we're pretty much set with him as the leadoff for the near future. Matt Joyce will be in the second spot, and he's been playing well as well. But as a lefty, we want him in that spot, hopefully to drive in some runs if Dustin Fowler can get on base. And then Jed Lowry, I put him in that number 3 hole. Again, this is to give him a chance. He hasn't been playing well, but we know he's capable of playing well. We know that he is a guy who can hit home runs. He can also hit for average. He has gap power, so he can definitely move guys along the base path once they get on base. The numbers don't look good for him, but he definitely has the potential and capability based on his ratings to actually be a number 3 hitter. At number 4, the cleanup hitter will be Chris Davis. The power that he has is our home run leader, so makes a lot of sense having him there. Matt Olson will have that number 5th spot just to help hopefully maybe get some home runs and fly balls that can drive in RBIs, whatever it takes. We've got 2 guys with power back to back. That's the whole point here. So Chris Davis and Matt Olson, they have the most power in our team, so I've got them. I want them to follow each other in that order. And then Sheldon News, this is a young guy that we called up from AAA Nashville this month, and he's playing really well. He actually is playing decent enough to even be higher up in the batting order, but for now we've got him in that number 6th position, and we're hoping to see good things from him. And then finishing up there, number 7 is Jonathan Lucroy, and then 8th spot is Steven Piscotty, and the last spot, number 9, there is Marcus Semien. So that's our batting lineup, and I think that's pretty much it. So we're set to get started here. We will advance to Globe Life Park in Arlington. So this is the Texas Rangers home. They got home field advantage today, and here we are. So first we'll introduce the defense for Texas. So first base is Tommy Joseph. Second base, Rougned Odor. Third base is Adrian Beltre, and shortstop is Elvis Andrus. Left field will be Jurickson Profar. Center field will be Delino DeShields Jr., and right field will be Nomar Mazara. And the catcher for Texas will be Juan Centeno, and there's the pitcher Bartolo Colon. So batting leadoff for Oakland is Dustin Fowler, and we're set to go here. Let's play ball. Wow, what an amazing start there. So Dustin Fowler gets a leadoff home run to start the game. So Oakland is already ahead 1-0. Excellent work there. Batting next for Oakland will be Matt Joyce with nobody out and nobody on. Matt Joyce comes up with a single to right field, and he's on base at first. So now Oakland have a runner on first with nobody out, and batting next is Jed Lowry. So Lowry gets on a fielder's choice, but they get the force out at second. So we still have a man on first with 1 out now. Batting next is Chris Davis for Oakland.
Strike 3, you're out.
Chris Davis strikes out. And now batting next is Matt Olson with 2 outs and 1 on at first.
Strike 3.
And he strikes out, so that retires the side and the inning is over. We move on to the bottom of the first inning. Alright, so we're going to introduce the defense for Oakland. At first base we have Matt Olson, second base Jet Lowry, third base Sheldon Noose, shortstop will be Marcus Semien, left field Chris Davis, center field Dustin Fowler, and right field will be Steven Piscotty, and the catcher for Oakland is Jonathan Lucroy. Pitching for Oakland is Andrew Triggs, and the leadoff for Texas is Delino DeShields Jr. So that looked like a bunt attempt, and they still force him out at first. So 1 retired for Texas, and batting next is Elvis Andrus with 1 out and nobody on. So Andrus comes up with a hit to left field, so it's a hit single, and he's on base. So with a run out first, 1 out, Adrian Beltre to bat next. Alright, so Andrew Triggs gives up a walk to Adrian Beltre, and now we have the powerful Joey Gallo batting next with runners on first and second and 1 out. And he grounds out to the shortstop, and they turn a double play that retires the side, and the inning is over. Batting next for Oakland is Sheldon Noose. He is the leadoff in the top of the second inning. And Sheldon Noose comes up with a double to left center field, and he's on base with nobody out. And batting next is Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Lucroy comes up with a hit to center field, and he gets on base. So we now have a run on first and third. Nobody out for Oakland. Batting next, Steven Piscotty. Piscotty with a hit to right center field, and that comes up with a double. Looks like the center fielder messed up there. So now we have runners on second and third, and Marcus Semien is batting next, and nobody out for Oakland. But Bartolo Colon gives up a walk to Marcus Semien, so the bases are loaded with nobody out. And now batting next is at the top of the lineup, but Dustin Fowler for Oakland. This is a really good spot for Oakland here. They can increase the runs if Dustin Fowler can come through. Fowler hits a shallow fly ball to left field, and it is caught. But now we have a decision to make. Do we want Jonathan Lucroy to tag and try to score from third? The ball is in average outfield depth, and Lucroy is a slow runner. Jerickson Profar has a normal arm. Yes, we'll gamble. So the gamble pays off. Lucroy scores. And now we have 1 out, runners on first and second. Batting next is Matt Joyce for Oakland. The lead has now been increased to 3-0 Oakland. And Matt Joyce hits a ground ball to second base. They turn a double play, and that retires the side. And the inning is over. So we're going to move on to the second half, bottom half of the second inning. Batting for Texas, Tommy Joseph.
Strike 3.
And Joseph is retired by a strikeout. Nomar Mazara batting next with 1 out and nobody on. And he hits a ground ball. He's forced out at first and retired. Jurickson Profar is batting next with 2 outs and nobody on for Texas. Profar comes up with a hit to left field. It's a single, so he'll get on base at first. And Roned Odor is batting next with a run on first with 2 outs for Texas. He hits a ground ball to the second baseman and they force the out, and that retires the side, and the inning is over. So the score is still 3-0 Oakland. Up next for Oakland, Jed Lowry. Lowry comes up with a hit to right field. It's a single, and now he's on at first. The cleanup hitter Chris Davis is batting next with a run on first and nobody out for Oakland. That looks like it's out of the park, and that's exactly why you need that cleanup hitter there. So Chris Davis comes through with a home run, 394 feet out of the park, and that increases the lead for Oakland to 5-0 with that 2-run home run. So we still have nobody out. Bottom of the third inning, top of the third inning, and Matt Olson is batting for Oakland. Colon gives up another walk to Matt Olson, so now we have a run on first, nobody out, and batting next Sheldon Noose, the third baseman. Noose hits a pop fly and he is set down. So 1 out, runner still on first, and batting next is Jonathan Lucroy. And Lucroy strikes out and he's set down. And now we have the right fielder Stephen Piscardi batting for Oakland with 2 outs, 1 on at first for Oakland. Piscardi flies out to center field, and that retires the side, and the inning is over. Now we move on to the bottom of the third inning. Up next for Texas, Juan Centeno. Centeno comes up with a hit to right center field. It's a single. He's on at first. Batting next for Texas, Delino DeShields with a run on first and nobody out. Andrew Triggs gives up a walk to the DeShields. And now we have runners on first and second with the shortstop for Texas, Elvis Andrews, batting next. And he hits a ground ball to the shortstop, and they turn a double play. So we've got 2 outs for Texas, runner on at third, and batting next is Adrian Beltre. And Beltre comes through with a hit to left field. So he's on at first, and that brings in a run. So now the score is 5-1 Oakland. Batting next is Joey Gallo. Alright, Andrew Triggs gives up a walk, so that was an intentional walk, I believe. Might as well take your chances with Tommy Joseph versus the ever-powerful Joey Gallo. So, and Triggs strikes out Tommy Joseph. That retires the side, and the inning is over. So the score now is 5-1 Oakland. We move on to the top of the fourth. Batting next, Marcus Semien for Oakland with nobody on, nobody up. Marcus Semien comes up with a hit to right field. It's a single. He's on at first. And now we've got Dustin Fowler up next to bat. He already has a home run in this game. Fowler hits a line drive to center field, and DeShields makes a nice catch, forcing Fowler out. So now we've got one out for Oakland and one on at first. And batting next, Matt Joyce. And that's going to be recorded as a wild pitch, I believe. That advances the runner to second. So now Oakland have a run at second with one out, and still Matt Joyce at bat. And that's going to be another walk given up by Cologne. So now we've got runners on first and second. Batting next, Jed Lowry with one out for Oakland. Lowry comes up with a hit. That looks like a double to right field, and that scores 2 runs. So Oakland advances their lead to 7-1. That's a 2 RBI double there by Jed Lowry. And we've got Chris Davis, who already has a home run. He's 2 for 1 so far. He's now batting next with only 1 out for Oakland.
Strike 3, you're out.
And Chris Davis is retired via strikeouts. They still have Bartolo Colon there pitching. Looks like he's thrown 90 pitches, and he's given up 7 runs so far. This could be another run, so we've got a decision to make here. Jed Lowry, he can try and score. The ball is very shallow. Lowry is an average runner, and Profar has a normal arm, so we possibly will not take the chance. So that holds the runner at third. We've got runners on first and third with 2 outs. And batting next now is the third baseman, Sheldon News for Oakland. And Sheldon News flies out to center field, retiring the side. The inning is over. Next for Texas, Nomar Mazara. The score is 7-1, and Oakland is still leading. We're at the bottom of the 4th. That's a hit towards the pitcher, and alright, not sure what happens there, but it looks like Mazara will have an infield hit. So Andrew Triggs was not able to get him out at first. So we've got a run on first, nobody out for Texas, and Jerickson Profar will be batting next. Andrew Triggs tries to keep Mazara close so he doesn't steal. And that was an infield pop fly, so that retires Profar. Roneg Odor is up next with a run on first and 1 out for Texas. And Odor comes up with the single to right field, so he's now on base at first, and that advances the runner to second. So Texas have runners on first and second with 1 out. Batting next, Juan Centeno. And Centeno hits a fly out to left field. He's retired. So we've got 2 outs and 2 on. Batting next, Delino DeShields Jr. for Texas. He hits it straight at the first baseman. He's forced out, and that retires the side, and the inning is over. The score is still 7-1 Oakland. Batting next for Oakland, the catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, top of the 5th. And we have a new pitcher now, Jesse Chavez, pitching for Texas. Lucroy grounds out to the shortstop, and he is retired. Steven Piscotty batting next with 1 out, nobody on for Oakland.
Strike 3, you're out.
Piscotty is retired via strikeout. And up next is the shortstop for Oakland, Marcus Semien, with 2 outs. Nobody on.
Strike 3.
And Marcus Semien is retired, so that retires the side and the inning is over. So we'll move on to the bottom of the 5th. Batting for Texas, Elvis Andrus, nobody on, nobody out.
Strike 3.
And Andrus is retired via strikeouts. So we've got one out for Texas, nobody on, and Adrian Beltre is next. Beltre strikes out looking. So now we've got two outs, nobody on, and batting next is Joey Gallo. And Gallo gets a walk, so he's going to be on base. Tommy Joseph comes up to bat with a run on first and two outs for Texas. Gallo tries to steal. And looks like he manages to steal a base. So now we've got a run on second for Texas, batting still Tommy Joseph.
Strike three.
Joseph is retired via strikeouts. So that retires the side and the inning is over. We'll move on to the top of the sixth inning. And I think the pitch count on Andrew Triggs is getting up there. So we're going to try and warm up a reliever. The Rangers have a lot of, well, they got a mixture of lefties and righties. So, but the most powerful guys, or at least the best hitters, seem to be the right-handed batters. So I'm gonna warm up Yasmiro Petit. Get him warming up. Dustin Fowler. It's a pop fly and he's forced out. So batting next, Matt Joyce with one out, nobody on for Oakland.
Strike three.
Matt Joyce is set down by a strikeout. With two outs, nobody on, Jed Lowry will be next for Oakland. Lowry's set down, so 3 up, 3 down. And now we'll move to the bottom of the sixth. Andrew Triggs is still there. We'll give him a chance to see if he can get a few more outs. Noah Mazara is batting next for Texas. Mazara flies out to right field and he's set down. Up next, Jurickson Profar with one out for Texas, nobody on. Profar also flies out to right field and he is retired. So batting next for Texas, Ronald Odor with two outs, nobody on. And Odor comes up with another hit, and that's going to be a double, and he's on at second base. And I think we've seen enough. We're going to bring in a relief pitcher here. So a pitching substitution. Andrew Triggs has gone 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 1 run, and he will be relieved by Yasmiro Petit. Petit will be facing Juan Centeno for Texas with 2 outs and a run on second. Centeno grounds out to the second baseman and he's forced out. That retires the side and the inning is over. So we now move on to the top of the 7th inning. Pitching is still Jesse Chavez for Texas, and he'll be facing Chris Davis, who will be leading off the 7th inning for Oakland.
Strike 3, you're out.
And that's the second strikeout for Chris Davis. He's sat down. Matt Olson is batting next for Oakland with 1 out, nobody on.
Strike 3.
And Matt Olson is also set down by a strikeout. So the back-to-back strikeouts for Jesse Chavez. He'll now face Sheldon Neuse, the third baseman for Oakland, with 2 outs, nobody on.
Strike 3, you're out.
And Chavez retires the side. So now we move on to the second half of the 7th inning and the 7th inning stretch. Okay, now we're at the bottom of the 7th inning. After the 7th inning stretch, lead off for Texas will be Delino DeShields. Nobody on, nobody out. Still pitching for Oakland is Yasmira Petit, and that gives us an opportunity now to start warming up one of our setup guys as we look to hold on to this lead and hopefully keep it this way and go all the way and win this game. So let's go.
Strike 3, you're out.
Petit retires Delino DeShields via strikeouts. Batting next is Elvis Andrews with 1 out, nobody on for Texas.
Strike 3.
And Andrews is set down via strikeouts, so back-to-back strikeouts for Yasmira Petit. Adrian Beltre batting next with 2 outs, nobody on for Texas. And Beltre will work himself into a walk, so he'll get on base at first. And now the ever-powerful Joey Gallo batting next for Texas. He's got 2 outs and a run on first. Joey Gallo comes up with a hit to center field, so it's a single that advances Andre Beltre to third base. So runners on first and third, and now batting is the first baseman, Tommy Joseph. Joseph grounds out to the shortstop, and he's forced out. They force the out at second, retiring the side, and the inning is over. So we move on to the top of the 8th. The score is still 7-1 Oakland. Pitching change for Texas. We now have Tony Burnett relieving Jesse Chavez. Burnett is a right-handed pitcher. All right, so we've got Steven Piscotty now batting next after Lucroy was retired via flyout to right field. So we've got 1 out, nobody on for Oakland. So Lucroy will come in and get a walk. So now we have a run on first with 1 out, and batting next is Marcus Semien. And this is where we're going to have to strategize a bit. So we're going to try and see if we can get Marcus Semien to bunt here. Semien lays down a bunt, a successful bunt, which is excellent, advances the runner to second. So it's a sacrifice bunt. That brings up Dustin Fowler with the runner in scoring position. So, but we still have 2 outs. So let's see what Dustin Fowler can do. So Fowler is retired via strikeout, swinging strike, and he's set down, retiring the side. That inning is over. So we'll move on to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll need to strategize here. So we're gonna bring in Emilio Pagan. At the same time, we'll have Liam Hendricks warming up. So Emilio Pagan comes in and gives up what looks to be a double to right field. So right off the bat, we've got runners on second for Texas, which is Nomar Mazar, and batting next Jerickson Profar with nobody out. Profar comes up with a hit to left field. So now we've got runners on first and third with nobody out for Texas. So Rudnegro Doro hits a single to right field, and that scores a runner. They now reduce the lead to 7-2. Still Oakland leading. We've got runners on first and second with nobody out for Texas. Juan Centeno comes up with a single to right center field. now we've got bases loaded for Texas, and I think I've seen enough of Emilio Pagan. We'll bring in the right-handed pitcher, relief pitcher, Liam Hendricks, to see if he can get us out of this trouble, or at least minimize the damage here.
Strike 3, you're out.
All right. That's what I like to see. So Liam Hendricks comes in and strikes out the first batter. The bases are still loaded with 1 out. Batting next is Elvis Andrus. Hopefully we can get a double play here. Elvis Andrus hits a fly ball to center field. He is set down. That'll be scored. Oh, wow. I thought that was going to be a sacrifice fly, but nope. They were able to get the runner who was trying to tag and score from third. So that ends that inning. So now we'll move to the top of the 9th inning. Pitching for Texas is Tony Burnett, and Matt Joyce will be the leadoff for Oakland. And we will now try to warm up our closer. So Blake Trinan will be warming up in the bullpen in anticipation to try and save this game. Matt Joyce flies out to center field. He's retired, so with 1 out, we've got Jet Lowry batting for Oakland. Nobody on. Lowry hits it straight at the pitcher, and they force him out at first. So we've got 2 outs, nobody on, and the cleanup hitter, Chris Davis, will be batting next. Davis grounds out to the shortstop. He's forced out at first, and that ends the inning. So we'll move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll try and get Liam Hendricks to see if he can get some outs, just because I know Blake Trinan, he's pitched back-to-back games, and I know his energy might still be low. So let's see if we can give him a hand here. All right, so Liam Hendricks comes up and gives up a single to Adrian Beltre. So Beltre is now on first. Joey Gallo will be batting next, and let's see what we can do here. Gallo comes up and he's gives up a ground ball, or hits a ground ball, and they force out the run at second. So Gallo will be on base as a fielder's choice. So we've got 1 out and 1 on at first, and the first baseman Tommy Joseph will be batting next. So Tommy Joseph comes up with a single hit to center field. All right, so I've seen enough there. We're going to bring in the closer, Blake Trinan, to try and close out this game. All right, so Trinan will be facing Nomar Mazar with 1 out and runners on first and second for Texas. So Trinan gives up a walk to Nomar Mazar. The bases are loaded for Jerickson Profar with 1 out. That should be a double. So Profar, it's a ground ball to the second baseman. They force the out at second, still gets a runner to score from third base, and Profar will get on base as a fielder's choice. Batting next is Roneg Odor. So we've got now 2 outs, runners on first and third for Texas. This is potentially the last at bat, hopefully. And Roneg Odor, it's a pop fly behind the plate, and he is retired. That ends the inning, and the ball game is over. And the Oakland Athletics come out on top. They win this game 7-3. An outstanding pitching performance by Andrew Triggs. and some good offensive performances by Dustin Fowler. Dustin Fowler had 2 RBIs. He was 4 for 1. Also, Jet Lowry came through. He was 5 for 2 and had 2 RBIs. Chris Davis was 5 for 1 and had 2 RBIs. So that was the most offense that came through for Oakland and helped seal the deal for this game. Andrew Triggs, he went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 run and 1 earned. He also gave up 4 walks, had 5 strikeouts, and threw 98 pitches. So his ERA now is 3.18. Andrew Triggs has really been pitching really well so far, and he gets the win. So his win and loss record now advances to 3-1, which is excellent. And the bullpen came in. Sure, we gave up 2 runs. One from Emilio Pagan, the other one from Liam Hendricks, but we still held it down, kept the game at bay, and allowed the team to win. Bartolo Colon was the losing pitcher here. He went 4 innings. He gave up 10 hits, 7 runs, all 7 earned. He also gave up 3 walks. He had 4 strikeouts, also threw 98 pitches. His ERA is now 5.02. So, play of the game, Andrew Triggs. He gets the play of the game honors. The game was played at Globe Life Park in Arlington. And Blake Trinan was slightly injured in this game. We will wait and see what that looks like. So, that's the game. We just got to keep winning one at a time. We're still at the bottom of our division, but if we continue to play like this, hopefully we can gain some ground and maybe try to get into that middle spot in our division. But we went through some rough weeks there. The last week was not a very good week for Oakland, but today was a good day. That was a win for Oakland. We're excited. We're glad that you guys tuned in. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll watch the next video. Most likely we'll do the end of the week review, and as the month is coming to an end, we'll also be doing our farm system review. So we'll be taking a look at our minor league system from AAA all the way down to single A, just to give you guys an outlook on how our farm system is doing. Try to see if we can identify prospects that are performing well, and also move around some players that we think should be moving up the ranks to try and develop some more. Maybe even demote some guys that shouldn't be playing at certain levels. Maybe they need a little bit more development at the lower levels. So it's exciting when we do our farm system report, and it just gives you an overview outlook on the entire organization, not just the major league team. So we're excited, and we're still struggling, but it is what it is so far. Appreciate you guys watching, and thanks a lot.